When we plan our coaster trips, we typically have one specific park in mind. Maybe you want to go to Dollywood, but you realize that you'd be driving right through Louisville, so you might as well hit up Kentucky Kingdom too. Sometimes, we even go to a specific park for one ride. In my case, I wanted to experience Lightning Rod. Yeah, Tennessee Tornado, Wild Eagle, and Dragonflyer looked cool, but I was most excited for Lightning Rod. Once in a blue moon, we find a diamond in the rough. A coaster that is way better than you had anticipated, to the point where it could even be better than the ride you came for. I didn't expect much going into Thunderhead, but man was I wrong. Some people in the roller coaster community have the opinion that wooden coasters are better when they are rougher. They say that they give them life. For years, I looked at these people having zero clue what they were talking about. How can a ride be better by being less smooth, I thought. All of the rougher woodies I had ridden were just that, rough. The roughness hurt, and that would ransack the ride of any redeeming qualities. But Thunderhead is different. Would I call Thunderhead smooth? No, not by a long shot. But somehow, some way, the roughness added to the intensity. I swear, it's like this thing had a beating heart to it. A pulse. You don't get that with other rides. This thing felt like a wild freaking animal. This alone cements this ride as one of my favorites. Another aspect of this ride is that I love its theming. It doesn't have anything over the top or anything spectacular, but it's just a bunch of little things. There's random signage strewn about and a lot of random stuff, but it just looks nice. Again, nothing is overdone, but a little goes a long way. Also, I love all the trees and landscaping. This park as a whole really makes it feel like you've traveled back in time. One last thing I want to mention is this ride's re-rideability. Even though this ride isn't smooth, you can still lap this thing dozens of times over with zero headaches. This only adds to this ride's greatness. With this ride, I literally don't have any cons. So with all of that said, let's jump into the ride layout. You do a quick helix that actually gives some great laterals before ascending the lift. You think armed C lifts are loud? Buddy, try a GCI lift. You crest the lift and you begin to descend your drop. I gotta admit, this is one of the best drops out there. You get the fun factor of a curved drop, but you somehow also get airtime. The crest is so tight that you get airtime when you first begin to descend, and that airtime is with you all the way until you bottom out. You hit 2 quick transitions and you ascend into a large turnaround. The second transition almost acts like a step up, as it gives airtime. You rocket around this turn at top speed before twisting back to the ground. I will admit, this one valley is the only point where I'd say that the roughness hinders the ride experience a bit. It's not that bad, not at all, but you do get a hint of jackhammering here. You rise up and get a great moment of floater here. The airtime in and out of these turns adds so much to this ride. You curve over the lift hill and then hit one of the strongest and most sustained moments on the rock. You start out with some speed, but as you fly down this hill, you gain more and more, and you continue to stay out of your seat all the way down the hill. This is what I mean by fast-paced. Everything happens in such a short amount of time. This ride is a masterpiece, I'm telling you. You hit a phenomenal valley with some great positives for a woody before you hit an even stronger, even more sustained hill. This moment is unbelievable. You curve a bit during this hill, so while you get thrown out of your seat, you get thrown from one side of the train to the other. Also, I just want to mention here that the restraints on GCIs are sent straight from God. See, they click as you pull them down, so you'd expect no leeway, but even after you push it down as far as it goes, you can still push it up. I refuse to try and be generous with room on this ride, as it would lead to certain death, especially if I have wiggle room when I push it all the way down. Anyway, you hit another valley and you rocket around a turn before hitting the station flyby. I wouldn't consider this a highlight of the ride, but it is a neat spectacle. But the drop out of the station flyby is crazy. Because you're simply going straight for a second or two, you don't see this spectacular airtime moment coming. It literally comes out of nowhere. You get launched upward as the train hurls over this element. You hit a quick left turn and get yet another great floater moment before continuing left and dropping back down to a right-hand turn. From here, you hit another airtime moment and turn into yet another airtime moment. This ride is a monster. It just doesn't stop. You then hit the smoothest element on the ride, a left-hand turn. The initial curve into the turn is crazy smooth. It must have been retracked or something because it just felt buttery. You twist around and hit a quick speed hill. It's not the best airtime moment on the ride, far from it, but it still offers some nice floater. You hit a nice off-axis airtime moment going from left to right before hitting a turnaround. Exiting the turnaround is an insanely underrated airtime moment. You literally go flying. Like, I know it looks like nothing from this POV, but you go flying, I swear. You curve up into one final moment of floater before hitting a left-hand turn into the brakes. You are finally given a chance to breathe. Simply put, this ride is fantastic. It has a masterful layout. It never seems like you lose speed, and all of the elements just blend together into a masterpiece of a roller coaster. This is an example of a coaster that is far from the best coaster I've ridden, but is one of my favorite coasters I've ridden. I see best and favorite as two different things. Best is more of an objective list of coasters with the least flaws, and favorite is a subjective list of coasters that you personally like the most. The best coaster I've ridden is Steel Vengeance for its sheer length and amount of airtime, but my favorite is Storm Chaser for its intensity, forces, and impeccable ride layout. So while Thunderhead is far from the best coaster I've ridden, it stands as one of my all-time favorites. Thank you so much for watching all the way through the end of this video. It means so much to me. If you liked this video, drop a thumbs up, but if you didn't like it, by all means drop a thumbs down and tell me your critiques in the comments. I am so sorry that I haven't posted in like 3 months. I've been super busy with school and all that stuff, so thank you for being patient. And with that, I'll see all of you in my next video. Goodbye.